I'm coming down here and kind of taking some inventory of the prepper pantry. It's super messy in here, but I grabbed a few things that were about to expire, and I wanted to show you ways that you could make those things into a meal. So you have your prepper pantry, you have all of these items, and a lot of us talk about expiration dates and turnover in the prepper pantry. And I think turnover is important using things from this prepper pantry. Mine is not long-term, it's a working pantry. We just have extra stock of different items. So my idea is to show you these meals, to show you what you can do on a budget here with your prepper pantry items. And I understand that in the event of an emergency, you may not have power, so I'm going to show you a way to cook one of these meals in the fire as well. But without further ado, we are going to get right into this. If you have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. Give this video a big thumbs up, and let's get right into it. We are kicking these recipes off with my favorite one. We are going to do some corn muffin, green chili, and bean mixture, and we are going to make these into some cornbread waffles. They are amazing and delicious. I am using some chili beans that I rinsed, and I'm going to mash that together. I'm going to throw in some corn muffin mix, some green chili, a little bit of Cajun seasoning, and about a 1/4 cup of water. And then you will see I try and pancake this first. It doesn't work. So then I just had a good idea to put it in my waffle maker, and that worked so much better. But I will discuss the positives and negatives of both. Here to chat about these because I see benefits to both, but one is better than the other. So in my mind, the waffle is better because in the event of a power outage and you had a generator to hook this thing up, you could use the waffle. In the event, the waffle maker. In the event that you don't have a generator, you could use a cast iron and do pancakes, but they just get so crispy and hard to flip. So if you're a perfectionist, if you're a perfectionist, these pancakes may frustrate you. I'm not, so it doesn't bother me, but the waffles are great because they really stand up well, like they have their integrity here. And I think they'd be good in chilies and things like that. But I think this is a killer meal idea for being shelf stable just because it only takes 3 ingredients and it's so easy. And it may look a little, I don't know, gloopy, is that a word? But it may look a little strange when you're doing it, but the flavor is really delicious. And I will say, I guess there is a 4th ingredient if you add that Cajun seasoning. So it's up to you, but these are delicious. I put some pimento dip on the kids. I'll show you some footage of that. And you could use sour cream. If you don't have sour cream or pimento dip, an easy plant-based sour cream is just some cashews or almonds, depending on what nut you have, blended with some water, salt, and lemon juice. And it makes this really delicious crema. You could do lime juice. That would be really tasty too. But that's up to you. If you just want to dip these in ketchup, they would be good. Mustard, you can eat them plain, but there's a lot that you can do with these, and I think this is a really good shelf-stable kind of savory breakfast. So I hope you try this one. Please don't forget, all of these recipes will be typed out in the description box down below. Next up is going to be this green chili of sorts. There are many routes you could go here, but we're using a can of rinsed cannellini beans, a can of rinsed kidney beans. Again, you could use whatever kind of beans you want. You could use canned chicken, but I'm going to use canned organic jackfruit. Thank you, Colleen. She sent me a bunch of these. I'm excited. I love jackfruit. You use it in so many different recipes. For sources of protein, that's not going to be the best one, but the beans will have you covered. Then you're going to have some green chili enchilada sauce, as well as a can of rotel, a little bit of water and some seasonings, and then some whole kernel corn in the can. If you've never worked with jackfruit, there is like a tough spot in here. So after I'm done rinsing everything, I go ahead and smush it with my fingers, and you can feel it. You don't have to get rid of that pod or anything, but there is like a tougher section around the pod, and you can eat that. I just don't like the texture, so I'm taking that out. You will see that this will resemble some pulled chicken, which is pretty cool. Does it taste like it? No, but I think it's really delicious. So I'm gonna put everything into my crock pot here. Please don't forget that all of these recipes will be typed out in the description box down below. I'm gonna cook it low and slow for 8 hours and serve it up. And here is everyone's plates, my husband's and then my kids. I put some tortilla chips and cheese and sour cream. I know that's not shelf stable, but we did want to jazz it up a little bit. Friends, we are going to get another shelf-stable meal going here. We're going to do it on the fire just so I can show you, if you run out of power, what to do here. You're going to want to have some vessel to cook it in. It could be cast iron. It could be one of these if you want it to. We're going to cook it on one of these here, but this varies. So you could do anything that you want. We're going to do quinoa as the base, maybe 1.5 cups. You could do rice. You could do brown rice. You could do... I wouldn't do couscous because it might get mushy, but there's a lot that you can do here with this. We're going to need an alfredo sauce mix. We're going to need some garden tomato soup. It could just be a can of tomato soup. And then you're going to need some artichokes, and it makes this really tasty quinoa dish. You could add a canned protein if you wanted to. We're not going to because I'm just going to serve it with some chicken tonight, but very easy. Let me show you how I put it together, and then I'll take you out to the fire. So go ahead and put some olive oil or whatever you want on the base here and try and spread it out. You could use butter. You could also use a spray oil. We don't really have those in the house. I find that they get really sticky in the air. Olive oil doesn't have the best burn point here, but we're working with what we have. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of quinoa in here. Like I said, rice works really well with this. Say about 1/2 container here. Okay, then for some flavor, we're gonna put in some alfredo. I've also put white beans in this, but I am going to wait until we come back inside. So just like a little bit more quinoa. And then just a few artichokes, not a bunch. I like the marinated, but if you are on a budget, I mean, these are $3, but if you're on more of a strict budget, there's a big can of artichoke hearts. They're just not marinated, and I think you can find them at Walmart. They're a great value, yeah. So, and those are like $1.79. So half a container, half a jar here of the artichoke. And then shake this up a little bit. Gonna go ahead and put this in here. So rule of thumb for quinoa, a cup of the quinoa and 2 cups of a liquid. I'm gonna mix this together, and we'll definitely need a little bit more liquid here, but you just put it right on top of your grate on your fire pit here, and it will cook together. I'm going to cover mine with foil, but if you, I don't know, if you watch it and it's fine without it covered, then you should be fine, but it just depends. So I am going to put probably just a little bit more in here. And like I said, this could be a main. You could do a side with it if you want. You can serve this chilled. You just have to heat everything up together here and then put it in the fridge, but we are pretending that we don't have power right now, which is very possible. It's been wildly windy lately, so I am going to cover this with foil and bring you out to the fire pit. All right, it wouldn't be a Tori video if I didn't forget an ingredient, garbanzo beans. Duh. I wanted to put those in here. I think it really lends well to this artichoke dish and the quinoa. It's just like a bunch of delicious flavor here. So I'm gonna put the foil on here and then put it on the fire. All right, and then we also have this little gadget from 4 Patriots. So you kind of just start the fire in here, and then you put this on top of it, and I mean, I don't know if this would fit on it. That would be a little sharp, but we can put a camp stove on there or a cast iron. That video is linked in my emergency preparedness playlist, but it's really great because you don't need any propane, but of course have some propane on hand for any other types of camp stoves. We have I'd say 2 or 3, but yeah, there are many options to cook outside. I suggest just familiarizing yourself with those and how you actually cook outside. So yeah, wanted to show this one too. So we waited for our fire to go out a bit, and then we are just kind of moving around the coals, and you're just sticking your dish into there. And then just to create an oven-like effect, we are putting some coals on top of here. This is very, very hot, so I suggest having some gloves and a shovel, but this will cook for around 25-30 minutes. I'll check it, give it a stir, and then an additional 10 minutes, and you should be good to go. So this is our messy little wood pile. We both grew up with wood piles back home, so they look a lot nicer back home, but we just cut down our trees here in the back, hoping to plant some more, but we always have this on hand. Doesn't rain too much, so we don't really have it covered. And then we have some items that we can compost, but this is our little area here. All right, and I did want to say you could definitely build your own fire pit, but these are nice and contained. I just waited for Target to have their 60% off, usually in, I want to say the fall, September, but sometimes on the app, if you check, they have random sales, but this came down to $22.97 or something like that, so very inexpensive. Of course, there's some at Walmart. You, again, could build your own with some pavers if you wanted, but this is just nice to have, and it cooks meals really well. We actually don't own a grill, so this is nice to have. You can buy attachments for it, so you can grill meat or veggies, skewers, whatever you want to do, but we really love it, and it's an easy thing to do if ever your power goes out. And last but not least are going to be these lentil fritters. I do have some ingredients in there that are not shelf stable in a way, but you need 1 can of lentils. On the bottom there, I have a can of rotel. I have 1 can of potatoes, and then I also have about a ½ cup of diced onion. Onions last really well in our cellar, as well as potatoes, so if you have that, if you're growing that in your garden like I am, go ahead and take it from your cellar and you should be okay. But I'm going to take my immersion blender and kind of mix this in, and you still want some chunks in there, and all you're going to do is form these into patties and bake it at 400 for around 25 minutes, flipping halfway, and you're good to go. It is so easy. Lentils are such a great source for us plant-based eaters, and I really hope you try this one. And that is going to do it, my friends. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Please drop down in the comments your favorite shelf-stable meal. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. Bye, everyone.